All right, a lot more Champions League to cover. We got to start right now with Liverpool against PSG. Liverpool came in to the Parc des Princes and, I don't know, broke the glass, stole the artifact,
bro.
and
They
left.
they showed up with Bally's on, bro. Ski masked up, shiesties on. This is crazy. PSG. First of all, this is one of the best games in all of Champions League.
Yeah. This
one of the best matches I've seen.
Okay, yeah.
And this whole round, the whole thing from league stage to now, this was absolutely incredible. But by far, PSG were the better team in every way, shape, or form, except one goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, look, ain't just goals given away. I mean, Liverpool didn't have what was it, 2 shots on target? We can get the exact stats.
Alisson Becker in the other side, right, in goal for Liverpool, had 9 saves. That's the joint most all time in a Champions League game. This man, whenever he plays, they should make the goal behind him a little bigger. This is rude.
Well, as I was watching Alisson make all these spectacular saves, I was just like, this is Ederson must be like, I'm never gonna even wear the Brazil shirt ever again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what more do I gotta do?
And there was a time when Ederson was just, especially in Premier League, dominating and still could only get matches against like Venezuela, right? Like couldn't really get any big games.
Hey, we're playing Bolivia. You wanna
come in here?
Yeah, you wanna show up? Bring your shirt this time.
You're not gonna be able to breathe here.
Yeah.
But Alisson is like, I mean, we were talking off air, like, is he the best goalkeeper in the world? And with performances like this, and it's also strange because Alisson is also not really ever put in positions like this where he is getting pelted
this is
with
the
shots.
Point. This game was very unlike Liverpool. This was where I'm like, hey, I hope other teams are watching in the Premier League how this is going because PSG's press was unrelentless, but also
unrelentless or relentless.
Whichever one I'm supposed to say there.
Relentless is the word.
Unrelenting, I think is what I wanted to say.
Unrelenting is another word. Yes.
I think that's what I was trying to say. And then my brain was like, yo, why don't we merge these joints real quick? Right? So I pulled in Alexis there. It was unrelenting. It was nonstop, but it wasn't just heavy metal press, like, you know, like what, like Gegen pressing and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like every time the ball just bounced off these guys' shins or thighs, it went right in the position where a PSG player could take advantage of it. And they were so sharp on a counter. They were so sharp at getting into that final third very quickly. Even if they had to set up their attack, it seemed like they were all getting into position super quickly to the point where I was like, bro, Liverpool's backline is looking stretched. And you mentioned it as well when the Ousmane Dembele miss, where he had like 3 touches that he probably shouldn't have taken. Completely no one in front of him. Where the hell is Virgil van Dijk? I've never seen him so out of position.
It was very odd. It looked like he was trying to stop a potential cross or marking a trailing runner.
It looked like they were both like 7 feet to the left. You know what I mean? Like, why are you standing over there, bro? The goal's in front of him.
I mean, I get maybe it's with the confidence of like the goalkeeper you have. He's like, I could do circles in the box.
Bro, I'm
gonna
go get a cigarette because this guy's got me, bro.
So we rarely see Virgil van Dijk make any.
All of Liverpool get stretched this much.
No, but even specifically with him, we don't really ever see him make like goofy looking errors and stuff like that.
Because one of the things that he's most known for is always being in the right position.
Sure.
Right? That's why his stats aren't crazy like X amount of tackles because he doesn't need to. He's always in the right spot.
Exactly.
This one, he was not in the right spot.
The right spot.
But Alisson was like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, and you know, Kvaratskhelia, like there's just everybody out here can dribble, can do whatever. Like there was a.
What's the point? You're saying they're too good?
No. I'm saying that they play in a fancy way. Like there's a certain class and quality.
There's not enough grit,
and that's why I'm saying compared to a Liverpool,
which will do the dirty work,
and maybe just playing in the Premier League, and this ain't they're not here to do a bunch of
too
step
Parisian is what you're saying.
But it showed that. Look, at Liverpool held up against that because Trent. How many times was Trent Alexander-Arnold getting cooked? I mean, and it's not a. I'm not going on.
He got applauded.
It's not even about like, oh, he's a bad defender. Yeah, we sort of understand that, and sometimes he has good games. Sometimes
we understand his deficiencies, and we understand what makes him great. But his deficiencies were getting showcased
because he has to mark Ousmane Dembele, and it's like most defenders are going to look kind of bad.
Yeah.
But when it's a Trent Alexander-Arnold against a guy like that, it's going to look really, really bad.
But there is something that happens to PSG the moment it takes to finalize all the hard work you did, putting yourself in the right position, having the speed to get to the final third, putting players in position that are making some of the world's best defenders look confused, everything. The last step is getting a good shot on target.
Yeah.
And more times than not, they fail at that part. And there's something, I think Luis Enrique is one of the best managers in the world. I love the way he wants to set up. I love the balls it took him to tell Mbappe, hey, you're off in the 28th minute. It's going to look bad for all of us, but I got to do it. This got to be my team. He did everything. He's done everything right. The one thing he can't do is convince these guys to take that part of the game just a little more seriously. Have a little bit more like, the world's going to collapse if you don't get this goal in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something about the way Harvey Elliott shot that ball that said, like, I need to do this. I need to do this for the Liverpool massive. João Neves' miss is crazy.
Crazy is not the word I would use.
It's crazy. The ball, he had all the. No, you're never going to get that much space in front of goal against Liverpool.
I honestly thought he took a decent chance. He hit the ball into the ground. The likelihood that a ball hit into the ground goes over the bar is almost insane. Like,
can I offer you another option? A clean shot on target. How about just one of those?
Look, as a gentleman who has missed plenty of sitters in my Sunday league.
Well, can I tell you something? If João Neves does something the way you have in Sunday league, then already the level is dropped too far.
I'm just going to show a little bit more grace to Mr. Neves. But yeah, I mean, look, there were a lot of misses. Was that one egregious?
Yes. Yes.
I
love João Neves. I think João Neves is incredible. Vitinha, incredible. These players are out of Barcola's missed when Alisson is way out of position, because he sort of ran out.
Yeah.
That's another one where I'm like,
what? That one, to me, that one was worse because there was nobody in front of him. I mean,
that's also a scramble moment. You don't train for those.
Yeah, exactly.
What João Neves did, something that happens all the time,
Sure.
is a ball comes to you. Yeah, there was a little hop. He saw it.
Sure.
He wanted to add an extra hop. There's so many hops.
I think it's a smart move to hit the ball into the ground like that. It causes a bounce, and it can the defenders have a much more difficult time.
I think
it's just the fact that it went over the bar is great. And it's something you don't even really see. You don't see misses like that.
I think if given the chance, he probably goes, you know what? How about just bang it straight?
Hey, man.
Should I go?
Look, at that point, it's all geometry.
Yeah. You hate math, this guy.
But Kvaratskhelia did end up scoring. Kinda, but it ended up being offside.
A wonder goal. He played very well, by the way.
Yeah, and yes, every time I see him, I'm just like, bro, are you wearing shin guards? I'm a little bit worried about you. His socks are so low.
Yeah. Well, that's what you were saying, like fancy, and then you said a Georgian guy. This is a hard scrabble type dude, bro.
But his goal ended up being offside in the build-up. Just
the heel of his foot.
A heel of his foot. Just it's a bummer because he's coming back onside to receive the ball. But yeah, technically he is off by a couple inches. And
if you're not facing goal, you shouldn't be allowed to be offside. I know that could be very easily taken apart. But there's something really dumb. But I guess maybe more of his foot as well. But this just feels really dumb.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's following the rules. It's the right call. It just feels dumb. And I'm not just saying that because I want Liverpool to lose any opportunity.
Credit to Liverpool, though. They, as far as, that defensive line and that chemistry, as soon as the ball was sent back outside the box, the instinct to get back for all the defenders to be in line was instant, and you saw it was a instinctive thing that they did, and that's the reason they end up winning this game, because although Alisson making all those saves and blah blah blah, but then it's moments like that keep you in games and help you win titles, and especially like Champions League. So
crazy.
Let's move on. Barcelona against Benfica.
Yeah, Cubarsí gets a red card in this. And Benfica, you're like, Nico made a video where they're like, it shows how Benfica is like cursed when it comes to these competitions.
Sure.
And you're like, curse is over, baby.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So red.
And then somehow they still find a way to lose this match, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. I think there was, what was the stat here? Since the start of 2024, Rafinha has been directly involved in more Champions League goals, UEFA Champions League goals, than any other player with 17. This dude is on a heater this year. This is like the perfect Hansi Flick player.
Sure. I did think the red card, the most hilarious part was Cubarsí.
I thought you were going to say you thought it was harsh.
No, I didn't think it was harsh.
Oh,
but
okay.
the most hilarious part was Cubarsí going to the ref and doing the signal of like, I got the ball. I got the ball. He didn't even, he didn't know where the ball was.
This is like when I tell my wife they were out of the thing she told me to get at the store. And the one thing I forgot, they don't do sour cream no more. They just stopped. Bodega said they're done. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, I can see it in the window. This was the same thing. A false, like just a falsehood.
I mean, there was just no truth. And then what's funny is that
and you know they're going to go to the camera.
They're going to go to the camera. But what I loved the most was, I think it was Lewandowski or somebody else going to Cubarsí like, what happened? And he's like, no, I got the ball. And he's like, fine, go look, ref.
Yeah.
My man just said he got the ball.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. Yo, why you digging a hole real quick?
It's just like, but the fact that you know, whatever, you're gonna try to embellish as much as possible, but to lie to your teammates, to be like, nah, there's nothing to worry about. Well, good.
I think Cubarsí hit him so hard he thought his knee or his leg was the ball. You know what I mean?
It's just absolutely comical.
And I get why Cubarsí did it. Like, you don't want someone to score a goal, but you can't take him out like that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a red card.
I mean, if he gets the ball, then everybody's gonna be like, what a great challenge.
Yeah. And Cubarsí's an incredible defender, man.
And he, I mean, to his credit, he was sort of close, but he was like scrambling. He wasn't really in control of his body.
The player was really smart about positioning his body and in between him and it was really smart.
But yeah, you mentioned obviously Rafinha scoring the goal. Rafinha, I mean, he also just gets gifted the ball, right? Like. It's
poor Benfica,
but this it just says a lot about, you know, we were talking about Hansi Flick and the goal that they gave up in the Copa del Rey semifinal against Atleti, and like of like he's gonna play the way he plays, no matter if he's winning by 5 goals, even down a man, and this is just where something Benfica couldn't adjust to the fact that they did have a man advantage, but I think the mentality and just the psychology around it was like, oh no, they weren't playing with the confidence of like, yeah, we got him, we got to play. But
it's also because Hansi Flick, like you said, will always attack.
Yeah.
Every time they get the ball, they're like, do they know they're down a man? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So it says a lot about just, you know, especially those forward players like Rafinha, players like Lewandowski, like they have to do a lot to they have put a lot more defensive pressure, get back to defend.
You also have to be athletically like a peak of your athleticism to be able to play in a Hansi Flick system.
I mean, this obviously credit to Barcelona for not giving up a goal, but I mean, embarrassing for Benfica to give up the goal that they did and to give away like that. Like, you're up a man. Don't pass it to another player. You have an extra guy to pass to.
It's crazy.
Than they do.
You're at an advantage, and somehow you find a way to pass to one of their players.
It's a terrible mistake.
I will say though, the Portuguese league is really on the up. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like that, you know, the big 5 or whatever, and where Portugal sat a few years ago, they're starting to change that. It feels like Porto, Benfica, Sporting, they're all kind of getting better, and they're getting a little bit more competitive internationally. But it goes to show that that gap is still there.
Sure.
It's crazy.
I mean, but also Benfica sometimes feels like the like in Toy Story, the like castaway toys.
I never saw Toy Story.
Damn, bro, you're missing out on beauty. Yeah, you had no childhood, dog.
I get it. I get it. Toy Story is the Woody and Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean?
This is always like Star Wars. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it.
Dude's like, yo, you my father.
You got little light swords.
Yeah, bro. I get the idea of it. You know,
but it's like
whatever that guy's name is.
Island of Misfit Toys kind of a thing where it's like all the.
I also didn't see that,
but all the players that. So were decent at clubs or won titles, but
Benfica also builds players like Angel Di Maria came from there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But Benfica is like notorious for
Bruno Fernandes. I think came from there.
No, Bruno Fernandes came from Sporting.
Okay.
But they like you know, with certain signings, they're scouting. It works. They do good business or whatever.
They're really good at getting players from Brazil and then flipping them to the rest of Europe.
Yeah. There's just like real estate.
Yeah. No, I got my territory on lock. Let's talk a little bit about my favorite team, Arsenal, 7-1 against PSV.
Yeah. What is really there to say here? I asked the question.
This was at PSV, though.
Yeah. I asked the question.
This a whooping.
I asked the question. What was more shocking, Arsenal scoring 7 with no striker or PSV giving up 7 goals against a team with no striker?
It has to be scoring. Yeah, it's chicken or the egg is what you're asking here. But scoring when Arsenal hadn't scored in 2 weeks, you know, in the last 2 matches, looking devoid of ideas. You go up against PSV, suddenly the ideas are flowing. The writer's block is over.
That was a surprising thing, that defensively. I mean, maybe because the goals were given up so early, like it just started early, like they were demoralized,
I think,
pretty quickly.
By the time the second goal had gone in, they were off of defensive shift. Like, I don't want to call them full-on mistakes, but they were like adjustments that weren't made.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have to now play a bit more aggressive offensively, right?
Did you see the photo of was it the striker De Jong?
Mhm.
Did you see I
Was it off his header?
No, the photo of him
Asleep?
when he got, when he was on the bench,
Yeah.
and he's just like miserable, like just like almost nearly in tears. It just reminded me of the James Rodriguez moment in the World Cup. Remember when he was on the bench and in tears?
Yeah. I remember that now.
But it just like it was like the same exact framing of the shot.
Right.
I think De Jong wasn't as much in tears, but it was.
It's gut wrenching to watch a team go down 7-1. It's crazy.
At home, bro.
At home in Champions League. This is what you were hoping for.
After having a really good, been great. They've been great in Champions League.
They've been absolutely incredible.
Nobody really expected this from them.
This is the knockout rounds. I mean, you're going to do home and away. This is kind of what I didn't like about the group stage, is that you could kind of learn your opponent a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can strategize against them. And I'm not necessarily sure what Arsenal did was their strategy was 7-1 worth. It just, as soon as PSV went down 2 goals, it seemed like they were like, all right, we need to attack. We need to find a way to get some of these goals back. And you just left yourself prime open.
Yeah.
Nwaneri looked good. MLS came out early. Miles Lewis-Kelly came out a little early. But even Tierney coming in, Ben Whaley coming in, no one skipped a beat. This was a fun match to watch as an Arsenal
Odegaard
fan.
Was fantastic. I think
clearly,
he needed that type of game.
He did, especially with a lot of the chat has been how bad he's been for like 6 matches in a row. But he clearly needs someone on the right-hand side that is like in the position where Saka would play, and Saka should be coming back soon. But someone in that position Saka would play, he clearly needs them to be a threat. Yeah. That's what opens up the opportunity for Odegaard to be able to do what he needs that space to be able to do what he does best. And when he's on form, he needed that brace real bad. I was hoping he would get at it.
I think what Odegaard could use to his game is almost a little bit of similar to Lamine Yamal in the outside scoring threat. Nobody's really worried that Odegaard is going to take a shot from 20 yards out. But if he could, it would.
Can I counter what you're saying? Because Odegaard tends to hang out towards the top of the box on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when he does that dribble move across the top of the box that looks like he's going to take that long curling shot, typically he'll have 2 defenders on him. That's what gives everyone else the space. So I get what you're saying.
He sends in a perfect pass
every time.
Or at the very least, he tries.
Yeah. So here's my thing. If he has 1 defender on him, you'll typically take that shot. If he could sink that shot more often, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I think he can show that more on free kicks from that area.
It reminds me, Odegaard to me dribbles like the way Steph Curry kind of dribbles, right? Where I
see it.
He attracts that defense and can quickly.
It's like a very last minute
body fake, just get around you.
You're really committed by the time he makes the move.
And so it's that threat of like, oh, I think I could get the ball right here because he's not really that fast. But if he could shoot, it would draw in defenders so much more heavily.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the point you're making is like when he has that player on his right that is a real threat that will draw some defenders towards them.
Now those defenders have to make a decision.
Exactly.
It's like, how do you want to be killed?
So look, it's more the fact that they scored 7. I was just like, what is?
They're the first team in Champions League history to score 7 goals away from home in a knockout match. That's crazy.
Insane.
This competition is crazy.
But it's more insane that it's Arsenal, given all the injuries.
All right. When you say it that way, it felt disrespectful.
Because I
get what you're saying.
We're watching them in the Premier League.
I think it was your tone. I think your tone was a little off. I'm just going to say, change your tone, please.
It's just such a surprise. But no, a deserved win. And what do you think they're going to do in the second leg? Sit everybody? Just really?
Okay, the last time I said this was when Arsenal were in Europa League against Porto, and I said, "Well, this is a great chance to rest your starters and play." I was on the soft set with Charlie Davies and Henry. This is when we launched in London, and Henry was like, "Okay, I heard what you said, and now here's all the reasons you're wrong." And he was right. They played the starters. They ended up losing anyway, but they played the starters. So I'm done saying they should rest their starters.
Okay.
Because it seems like Arteta's even said if you want to be one of the greatest players, you have to be able to play three matches a week at this point.
Right.
If you're going to be a top player.
It's just
7-1 feels disrespectful to start your starters though.
It just feels like if there's even one injury to an important player with what Arsenal has already been dealing with, it would just be so frustrating. And those shouts for like, hey, was this the right decision to start the strongest team or whatever? But yeah, obviously you hope that doesn't happen. But with a 6-goal lead
at home, I would love to see some of the younger players get some chance.
100%. I just put the U14s. They'll be fine.
Academy match. Huh? Everybody's numbers is 3 digits on their back.
Okay, last game.
Bayern.
Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen, 3-0. Kind of a shocking.
Is anyone even talking about Xabi Alonso anymore, bro?
They are.
I know they are. I'm just
they are.
3-0 though. It's a tough one.
No, it's especially with how last season went with Leverkusen over Bayern, obviously winning the title and just like dominating pretty much the entire league and Bayern Munich in league phase. But this is a game where I just really didn't expect this result at all. But there's a couple things that I really, maybe I just didn't notice as I was watching Leverkusen. Radetzky,
their
goalkeeper is who won them the title last year and everything. He is benched for the backup goalkeeper who has been playing in the cup competitions. You understand, DFB Pokal and stuff like that. But he also, the backup keeper, plays in the Champions League.
Right.
And makes a horrendous mistake.
Massive mistake. He goes up for the ball and almost pats it behind him. It rolls off his fingers behind him.
He just doesn't grab it, and it goes behind him. The ball is up high in the air. You know, any NFL wide receiver catches this ball. It's
but if
at
you
your
can't
hands.
Catch it, you hit it over your crossbar.
Sure,
he does. He hits it right in front of his crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's around the 6 yard, the edge.
He's
of the
at the penalty spot.
Yeah, no, not the penalty. Around the 6 yard box.
Oh, is he really? Okay.
Because Musiala all has to do is just tap the ball once, but it falls behind him over his head. And the real issue here is that all the Bayer Leverkusen defenders were like, "Oh, I see where the ball is going. He's jumping for it. He got it."
Why would you think it? But there's also 2 defenders. One of you got to be like, all right, let me go behind him just in case.
So they didn't because they just assumed.
Musiala said, all right, I'll do it then.
Musiala doesn't take his eyes off the ball, sees where it's going. And as Musiala gets a shot on target, you can see the defenders being like, what? That
he also squeezes between the 2 defenders who are now like last grasp trying to hold him.
Yeah.
It was a pretty silly way to score a goal.
Yeah, and it's one of those,
or give up a goal.
It's an interesting thing because I think your brain tricks you sometimes where you play the game for so long and so many years, you've seen this play over and over and over and over and over, that I think the defenders saw what happened in their head. They were like, oh, he caught it. And then when Musiala is celebrating a goal, they're like, wait, I don't understand. He caught it.
Yeah. How'd the ball end up in the back of the net?
I saw you catch it.
Look in your hands real quick. Do you see the ball? It can't be in 2 spots.
And I forgot the defender. You could maybe Carter, you can let us know who were the 2 defenders. But you can see him not look at he's looking down as the ball is in the air being caught.
Yeah.
So and obviously he's baffled when Musiala scores.
Why is Musiala trying to get past me? This is a nondescript play.
So it's something where that to me, that was a moment of like, you can't switch off. You can't think that something is going to happen if it's not actually happening, if you didn't actually see it happen. Because he had the strongest chance to clear the ball if he just keeps his eye on the ball and keeps looking at it. And that's how you support your goalkeeper. And again, he should just catch the ball. So I understand that. So it's on the goalkeeper. But it is an interesting thing that I think happens while you're playing a game, that you expect the ball to land in certain places. You expect people to, receive the ball in this particular.
Of course, everyone does their job.
Everyone does their job.
Yeah. And then I don't have to be told I didn't do my job.
But no, part of your job is also making sure the other people are doing their job.
It's crazy. By the way, Harry Kane, 47 goal contributions in the Champions League. So now he's the 2nd most for an Englishman. Yeah. Right? David Beckham has 52. So that's 5 away. should we grade that a little bit better than what David Beckham has done so far? Because, and this isn't a joke, Carter, most of those goal contributions came while playing at Tottenham, which didn't have as rich a history in Champions League. It's a lot harder to do that than being a part of the greatest Manchester United side in David Beckham, where he scored a lot of those goals. Do you think, or some of the bigger even goals, like he went to a stacked PSG, he went to a stacked AC Milan. Should we consider what Harry Kane has done a little bit better?
I guess. I mean, it's difficult. They're also playing different positions. You would think
he's a pure striker.
He's a pure striker versus somebody who
midfielder,
and obviously most of those goal contributions are obviously assists.
Yeah.
What's more difficult to do, or what should we appreciate more? This is a tough one for me. I mean, like it's very close. I'm gonna just because I appreciate the artistry that Beckham brought and in assisting in assists. And I think his game, I think it's harder to do what Beckham did over what Kane is doing. I've goal contribution, obviously the penalty taker and just, people just sending him the ball and the header that he scored. It's hard.
It's still tough to be a goal scorer.
I would give it a little just bit more to Beckham.
So there's no asterisk for you based on the fact that he did it with Spurs.
Asterisk meaning like as it's more impressive.
You grade it on a curve. Yeah, it's almost like, all right, it's starting to be on par, if not a little bit better than what David Beckham did.
Not really, because he's still a striker. I mean, there's plenty of very good players that have played on bad teams that are the only reason.
Especially when you're the guy who gets all the stats for that.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't say that Tottenham is just this horrendous team.
No, but it's someone that, it's a team that doesn't have like the Champions League history.
He's done it in clearly teams that haven't been as successful or even gotten to Champions League as many times and stuff.
Now he's doing it on Bayern, and they have.
Yeah. All right. And then the last part of this game that was interesting. Manu Nora did get subbed off in this game.
He celebrated too hard, bro.
Celebrated too hard. Next week we'll be on the lookout. We have Lola Banta on the show, and she did this. Her celebration was pretending to pull her hamstring and then twerking.
I don't know. You say I'm gonna do it, but keep it for real though.
No twerking after my injury. Yeah. He's celebrating. Was it the second goal?
I think it was Musiala's goal.
Which is also, as a goalkeeper
union. What happened?
You can't be celebrating that hard,
you can't be flexing on your bro like that.
You're happy for your team. Thank you. But it's like, you had to watch another goalkeeper go through that. You don't want to.
This might be a little disingenuous from us actually saying this, because what's the best part of a comedian's day, or the funniest thing for a comedian is watching your friend bomb?
The best part?
That's not. Tell me that unless you're on stage, the funniest thing that could happen, if you're not on stage, is watching someone you deeply care about and love just absolutely bombing on stage.
Watching somebody that is funny.
Yeah, of course.
If that they're funny
all the time,
then that's not funny. So
no, but someone this is out of the norm. Watching them have to suffer.
Yeah.
And the guy's got 8 minutes left, or she's got 8 minutes left. Yeah. And 8 minutes feels like an eternity when you're bombing.
Totally.
This might be the reason why he was celebrating. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I get it. Maybe. But no, the union they're not too keen. If there was a comedy union, maybe that.
They tried that in the 70s, I think, and it didn't work out well. Yeah.
But it is kind of hilarious that he's gonna be out for like a month.
It's indefinite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna do more tests. And he just came back from a really long-term injury not too long ago, so you hope he's okay.
It is. I don't know, with goalkeepers and like muscular injuries like that, where is it do you think if they were running around more, they wouldn't have those injuries?
Okay, so this is the classic car, you should drive it theory. Right? Like drive it more because that's what keeps the oil pumping.
Right.
If you let it sit, that's not what the car was built for.
Exactly.
So, okay, this is because you're not out there running around. Although he's probably the one goalkeeper that does that the most, right?
Not as much.
He's the most sweeper keeper still in this league, I think.
He's definitely, since his injury, he he had the skiing injury.
Yeah.
So that he was out for like a year. And I feel like since then he's kind of calmed down. He retired from the German national team.
Right. Hopefully retired from skiing. Jesus Christ.
And so
what's it gonna take for humans to realize you're not shouldn't be going down the side of a mountain fast on two sticks?
How hard do you celebrate? I mean, I've celebrated my teammates' goals, bro. Jesus Christ.
Again, we're gonna need you to stop comparing yourselves to Champions League players.
I mean, that's not even, you're just standing there. What are you doing?
Clearly that injury was there already and it got exacerbated.
I don't know how clear it was. He might have went too hard.
He would have gotten injured at another time. I don't think it was just the celly.
That's why he just makes it more embarrassing.
We need video of the celly. I need 4K video of the celebration.